Hi, welcome. I'm Lisa. This is day 40, and the topic for today is the Great Discovery. So I was thinking about Jesus in his 40 days, and he left his life as a carpenter, and he willingly entered into a space led by Spirit where he allowed himself to be tempted by the devil. And that's exactly what you've done. You said yes, you made a commitment, and you allowed all the fear to come into your awareness. And I love that, because most of our lives are spent pushing the fear away. And what you did was say, okay, I want to look at it. I want to look at my attack thoughts. I want to see the way my mind works. And you've done that, and you've built a solid foundation under you now. And as you allow these thoughts to be looked at, you can let them go. And these are the blocks and the obstacles that have been keeping us from seeing the presence of love that we are. And the great discovery, when you finally come to this place, is I am as God created me. And I am God's son. And that's the great discovery. You are God's son. And I've had massive resistance to this idea. For those of you who know me, I had major resistance to almost every idea that was even slightly religious or reminded me of any Christian terminology. I had resistance to the idea of the Holy Spirit, of Jesus, of Christ, and then the idea that I am God's son. But like everything, I just allowed myself to look at the resistance, to say, okay, let me just look at that idea. And when I thought about it, I thought about how Jesus gave us this beautiful prayer to his disciples 2,000 years ago, the Lord's Prayer. And around the world, people recite that prayer. And it starts off, Our Father. And that is exactly the meaning that we are God's son. That establishes us as one with each other, and that we all have a single source, and that God is our Father. And we are his child. And today what I ask for you to do is simply to remember your identity in God. I am as God created me. And this is an idea that is used in many places in A Course in Miracles. It's used in Lesson 94, Lesson 110, Lesson 162, Workbook Lesson 201 to 220, and it's the final section in the text called Choose Once Again. And this is a decision to remember the self that you are, and then just to be it. Like really just to say, okay, this is all that's required of me from now on. Just to be the self that God created. To be the self that I am. To be the love that I am. To remember my innocence. To remember my holiness. And to remember my oneness with others. And this is precisely what happened when Jesus had this realization, is that he remembered his oneness with all. So you're actually not leaving the circle anymore. And in A Course in Miracles, it's mentioned several different places. It's called the Circle of Atonement, the Circle of Purity, the Circle of Peace. And it says that you stand in this place with others and with Jesus. And you're calling others to this place by you remembering your oneness with them. And that's all you're doing. It's not a big deal. And I love that saying that says, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. It's not a big deal. It just means that you have remembered the light that you are. You're remembering your holiness. And you're allowing it to extend. My cup runneth over. You're not blocking the light anymore. You're allowing it to flow. And you're just showing up wherever you go, remembering God is with me. And I'm choosing Christ's strength over my own weakness. And that's it. And that's the simplicity of this. And today what I ask for you to do is to make a new true way of being card. So 40 days ago, I asked for you to write down your true new way of being. And this is your innocence, your holiness, the love that you are. I'm a child of God. I am peace. And today what I ask for you to do is to write a new true way of being card. And it's very simple. It's one idea. I am as God created me. And I ask for you to read workbook lesson 110, I am as God created me. And what it said is this one thought, it's just a thought, held firmly in the mind would be enough to save the world and yourself, if you believed it. So I just want you to hold this one thought in your mind. I am as God created me. And this removes all illusions. It removes all sickness. It establishes you back again in the awareness of your identity as light. And you are God's son. You cannot suffer. And it's amazing. Like, you just carry this thought through the day. It asks for us to wake up with this thought, to remember this thought throughout the day, and to use this thought at night. And I see many people are still writing in letters trying to heal physical illness and symptoms. And what I ask for you to do is simply allow yourself to remember, I am as God created me. And what this does is it really does establish your oneness with others. And this work is uncompromising. There can be no spot of darkness. And you simply say, okay, are there any areas of forgiveness that are still needed? Any place where I'm shutting someone out of my love? And you quickly see, okay, I'm not doing that anymore. I am as God created me. And what I love about these lessons is it says to acknowledge that the other is as God created me. So I am God's son eternally. And then it says, if anyone should irritate you, that you use it on that person. And you are God's son eternally. So now you have these practices. You're listening to God's voice. You are acknowledging that Christ is with you, that this light goes with you wherever you go, and that you are joined with your brother in oneness. And from here, you just allow yourself to be led to all the places that you go, remembering your identity in God. And you don't need any preparation for this. You don't have to plan for what you're going to say or what you're going to do. You simply remember, okay, I am the light. You are the light. And you're just being yourself. You're just being yourself without the fear. And that's all this is. It's not a big deal. And it is a discovery. And this is why Jesus sent his disciples out without him. And this is why I created this 40-day program with an end. Is you must discover this for yourself. And as you go out into the world and you hear people's stories of suffering, and you have this practice now where you center yourself and you remember the self that you are, and you remember who this one is that's in front of you, and you're joining with them in the light. You're not joining their story of suffering. And other people will not recognize the Christ that you are in the beginning. That they will think that you are just as you have always been. And it doesn't matter, because you know the truth, and that's all that matters. And now you're allowing everything to be exactly as it is. No one has to change. And the light that you are is calling them out of darkness. So again, it's not a big deal. You don't have to go do big things. You don't have to go teach or preach. Just be the self that you are. Be the love that you are. Just be the peace that you are, and stand in this place, acknowledging that you have a guide, that God is with you. You're listening, and you're allowing yourself to be led. So you are as God created you. And this one thought held firmly in the mind would be enough to save the world and you. So I thank you for being here, and you have a strong foundation under you now. And we carry this peace wherever we go. And we carry it to the lonely ones now. And we're just simply remembering. That's it. We're being the self. So I thank you with all of my heart for joining me in this great awakening. And this is not an end. This is the beginning. And I'm grateful that we're together. Thank you.